Okay, so let's start somewhere. Uh,
Let's start, Summer. What are you catching a fly or something?
no. It has been a long day, isn't it?
It's been a fun day. Yes, it's been a very
No, no,
long
no,
and
no.
very
This,
fun
this
day.
has been no. This has been one of those. It has been a long week. It's only Wednesday, but this has been a long week.
Do you want to say it's going to get worse? Because I don't see the way in which it can be, but okay.
Just give it time.
Yes, give it time to rot more.
No. Taylor Swift got engaged. So it has been a long week, although it's Wednesday. And we are finally here together. I'm not installing anything. I'm not trying to overdrive the Windows with the disks, which I must say was a nice thing to try. Did you take a look at the episode, anyways?
I did the editing, so yes, I looked at it.
Okay, but you can do the editing without actually taking a look.
Not really, but yeah, you could, but no.
So what do you think about how Windows handles the additional drives?
It's impressive.
Now the thing is that I was experimenting even more, and I got a completely different conclusion than I thought I would get.
Okay.
And this is since the overwhelming topic that I want to talk about today is Windows itself. Um, it is actually quite alarming how close the regular configuration is from the configuration that Windows is completely unable to cope with.
Okay.
So it is not unusual for you to have 7 or 8 disks in your machine. Be it a hard drive, a second hard drive, and a USB drive, one of those multi-slot card devices, and so on and so on. And suddenly you realize that the top number is 26 drives,
Mhm.
and then everything starts falling apart.
I
The
took a
same thing is when I was trying to do when I was playing with USBs. You suddenly realize that the limit for the USB devices is not 128 or 256 like people say it is. It's 256 USB endpoints, and some of the devices have up to 10 endpoints. So it can be something like 12 USB devices in total.
I took a leaf from your handbook and bought myself a Lenovo that can sustain multiple SSDs. So that was a good idea from your side months ago when we discussed it. And installed 2 extra SSDs in it and some more memory, and now I'm a happy camper with that new laptop that I'm using for projects. But I never actually tried, at least not in Windows, to do what you tried to do. I did it multiple times on Linux, many moons ago.
I haven't tried to do it on Linux. I was aware that this is possible,
Hmm.
simply because I inadvertently did it once.
Hmm.
By inadvertently, I basically forgot that my controller was in HBA mode, and I booted up a Linux machine. And since it was a 24 disk, it was a 24 disk chassis. It just basically showed me the AA SDAA device.
SDAA, ABAC, that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the thing is that I wanted to try this for a while, and then I realized that this is the right time to do it, and I wanted to push the limits. And I suggest that everybody who is doing anything in IT should be trying to push those things, because the virtualization actually gives you the possibility to experiment with things that are usually not possible. Specifically, I ran into another small problem that Proxmox has, or KVM has,
Hmm.
and this is that it's not easy to attach additional SCSI devices or additional SCSI drivers or SCSI controllers into the virtual machine.
So that you can add more SCSI
Yes.
disks. Oh, okay, I get it.
And the thing is that, as you probably saw in the middle of the episode, I was talking to ChatGPT because I did it on purpose, and ChatGPT merely told me that this is not going to be a problem because the we can connect 200 drives quite normally using all controllers. And then it said, "I'm going to create another controller." Then it backtracked and said, "No, I'm unable to create another controller." Then it suggested that we use all the other controllers, so SATA, IDE, and everything else.
There is a solution for that problem.
I know that there
Actually,
is a solution for this problem, but I wanted to just show how ChatGPT suddenly becomes extremely um, limited in its ability to understand what the reality is.
okay, to come back to the fact that I was saying that there is a solution to that problem, we explained that solution in Mastering KVM Virtualization second edition.
Yes, I know.
You can write an XML file with that, import it into the virtual machine, and it is doable. It is clunky and complicated because of the IDs, UIDs, and whatnot, but it is doable.
Okay, when you mentioned clunky and uncomfortable, let's talk about year of Linux desktop.
No Linux years Linux desktop. Today we are talking about Windows 95. And
No,
after
but I wanted to
wait,
talk
wait,
about Windows.
after 7 minutes of introduction, now comes the time to do the intro.
Okay, roll the intro, please.
Go ahead. What's bugging you, Doc?
And anyways, the thing that we were talking about is we both saw that, and let's call it enthusiastical introduction of Windows 95 that was exactly 30 years ago. I know that Vedran is going to put it into somewhere on the screen and show it just as a little snippet,
Mhm.
because this is one of those unforgettable moments when Bill Gates awkwardly dances and Balmer
Balmer was even more. Yeah.
Balmer is awkwardly doing whatever he was doing, because I honestly cannot explain it. Yes, it is the developers all over again. But the thing is that it has been 30 years since Windows 95 came into being and was introduced with Start Me Up, with all the front pages of all the major newspapers being taken over by Microsoft, and so on and so on and so on. But the interesting thing is that at the same time, Windows 10 is needing its end of life in, what is it, 2 months. So
Are
basically,
you deliberately putting salt in my wound?
no. The thing is that I wanted to mention that if this isn't the start of the year of the Linux desktop, I don't know what it is.
I'm only asking because of what happened to me with Windows 10 last week.
I don't recall. I have no
Yeah,
recollection
sure
of
you
what
don't.
happened. No. But the
Sure you
thing is that
don't.
no. The thing is that I honestly am slowly moving away from Windows 10 into Fedora.
Mhm,
Simply because Windows 11 found quite a few new ways to make my experience even more miserable when it comes to devices.
mhm.
Now I found another thing. So let's talk about audio devices, because you are the master of audio. Would you call a Focusrite Scarlett bad audio device?
No, it's a perfectly good sound card for cheap, small amount of money with super stable drivers and very easy to use.
I have news for you.
Mhm.
The drivers are no longer super stable.
In Windows 11, of course.
Yes, in Windows 11, after you use the card for something like 2.5 and 3 hours, suddenly the drivers start making strange noises, and you need to disconnect the card and reconnect again.
You do realize when I'm talking about this, I'm not talking about Windows 11 ever.
Yes, but the by problem, and the reason why I'm mentioning year of the Linux desktop, is that you are not going to have a choice. From end of October, only Windows 11 will remain on the market, and this is going to be the only thing that people are going to be able to buy for the laptops
Okay.
and for the desktops. And the drivers and the state of the machine as it is right now is something to be
Scared off.
extremely scared of. Yes. I don't know of any thing that is working correctly when it comes to multimedia,
Mhm.
or when it comes to certain drivers. It has a problem with USBs, and it has a problem with drivers for audio.
Don't get me started how badly it works with Thunderbolt.
It works with Thunderbolt. This is a new one.
It does, but it's still it's
I didn't
it's
mention
it's a
this.
challenge.
No, I didn't tell you that I was trying to. I was trying to connect something using FireWire a couple of days ago.
Yes, I know. How did that turn out
I got a smiley screen
on OS 10?
on Windows 11.
On Windows 11? Okay,
Yes.
I'm not surprised.
The thing is that I was trying to connect. A colleague of mine was asking me, and I talked to you yesterday that I was. He asked me to connect an old Sony
DV camera, yeah.
DV camera. Basically, he was trying to get some footage from the TV camera, and it used to be that you would just connect to a FireWire or
iLink, yeah.
whatever is iLink, whatever is what is the name of the standard, and it worked.
Mhm,
It worked in Windows XP. It worked in Windows 7. It
mhm,
works in Windows. It works in Windows 10. In Windows 11, not so much.
mhm.
And I don't see the reason why.
I'm,
Okay, I
I'm,
know
I'm,
that DV is not a standard that we are going to keep around for a while, but why it stopped working?
I'm presuming that they did an Apple. You know what Apple did with some of the latest generations of OS 10? They stopped shipping all FireWire drivers.
I didn't know this, but I
Yes.
know that I suddenly realized a couple of weeks ago. I you know that I have this knack that I always tend to install beta version of the software because I have the idea of how bad could it be.
No, that's not the correct description. Correct description is you're the beta guy, all true and true.
Yes, 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 yes. So what I did is I installed the beta for the OS X 26, which I'm going to just quickly mention. What Apple did is extremely up to par with everything that is happening in the industry nowadays. So basically, they jumped from the version 18 to version 26
Okay.
uh, because they don't like that they are lagging behind in the version number. So it looks like the version number is now much better with version 26. But the problem is that once I went to beta, I I'm not going to say that I lost the capability to use Bluetooth, but it is severely lacking in functionalities.
hmm
For example, if I disconnect from Bluetooth, I cannot reconnect unless I turn off the Bluetooth and then turn it on again.
That's what the beta is for.
Yes, and I wasn't expecting this. I wasn't expecting that the beta is going to be so so annoying in so that it does a couple of things. First, Bluetooth is not working.
hmm
Second, the functionality that enabled you to control your iPhone from your Apple machine, so from OS X,
hmm
is no longer there. It is being temporarily disabled due to functionalities being added, whatever that may mean.
hmm
And I honestly don't remember when Microsoft last time disabled a feature that was working temporarily to make it work better later.
There was one recently, but I can't remember which one it was. But
Usually it
okay,
just breaks down, and people understand that it breaks down, so they wait for it to be fixed. But to have
I,
a
I
feature,
remembered, by the way,
yes, which one?
the capability to import stuff from Android phones, if I remember correctly.
Okay, the
The application for that, Microsoft has one. They did something with that.
but I think that one of the biggest problem that we all the linking to the mobile phones and linking from the mobile phones has is that usually it's not only the uh, problem with the application itself.
hmm
It usually is a problem with licensing and the things that are happening behind the scenes.
hmm
So suddenly somebody realizes that they can do some changes and save some money on licensing, save some money on paying licenses for whatever it is. So connecting to mobile phones, especially nowadays, is a huge problem for big companies because everybody is requiring for the license to be paid. There is a huge amount of money changing hands between Google and Apple for different things that they're paying to each other.
Mm.
Microsoft is paying a huge amount of money to Apple and Google. So it's just behind the scenes dealings that are a problem. But
Can I let you in on a little secret?
yes,
There is a simple solution to your problem with your Focusrite interface.
okay.
Stop connecting it to Windows 11. And I'm
Okay,
not saying go back to Windows 10. I'm saying use your freaking Mac that you have or Macs that you have for it.
but the thing is that I want to have, and I'm trying to have this for the last couple of years. I try to have a single machine that works.
Never gonna happen.
And unfortunately, I cannot afford the price to pay that would enable me to have the machine that I would like in the Apple ecosystem
Mhm.
for two reasons.
Okay.
First, they are way too expensive compared to anything that is Windows based.
Mhm.
And the second reason, which is even more important, I actually don't like OS X.
Okay.
OS X is a nice piece of software, but I much prefer Linux when it comes to operating systems than OS X, simply on appearance.
I'm talking about multimedia yet again.
Yes, but even multimedia functions better in Linux than in Windows. So if
Okay.
I'm going to jump over to another operating system and to use the Focusrite and use everything else, I'm going to go to Fedora.
But by the way, I decided to take another leaf from your book, and this is something that our friend who sold me the laptop also teased me about. He was like, "Yeah, come on, the year of the Linux desktop. I have three SSDs inside. The smallest one is going to be for Linux. So which one are you? Which one are you recommending?"
As I said, right now I was trying out Fedora and Ubuntu, and I think that Fedora is the way to go
Okay.
with the snaps and everything else because they are getting the. You are already know quite a few things about Red Hat, so you are going to be at home there.
Hmm.
The software is getting all the new releases are getting there. Since this is the distribution that Torvalds uses,
Hmm.
everybody makes sure that actually it works
Hmm.
because they don't want to be on the wrong way of the on the wrong point of the Linus Torvalds emails.
Linux shotgun.
Yes, so I think that this is probably the distribution to use right now. If you don't require something else, I was trying out Linux Mint, which is nice. It looks nice. I was trying out Pop! OS,
Hmm.
which is not that bad. But I must say that from all the others, I prefer Fedora because it is being developed quite quickly, but it looks like and feels like something that is actually polished.
But that is still far away from the topic of this episode, which we haven't even touched. So
Okay, let's.
last week when I had my Windows 10 does its update without announcement, reboot, logs me in automatically as administrator user, name administrator user into my desktop. I had a little bit of a shall we call it a little bit of a rant in our private WhatsApp chat with a couple of our colleagues. And I said literally that I'm going to take out some kind of an old computer and install Windows 95 or OSR2 or Windows 98 SE on it, disconnect from internet, and then live happily ever after.
And
This
everybody piled up on you, recommending everything from Hannah Montana Linux up to Fedora. Yes.
exactly that because yes, a I had that coming. B it was a funny moment and which you can seize. So carpe diem,
Yes,
you seize the day.
everybody was happy, but I must say that everybody was happy besides you, since you didn't seem to like the. I think that the straw that broke your back was the uninstalling of your applications, because you seem to have a hate for when somebody destroys the ability for your computer to communicate with your own cloud devices.
Just as an example, yes,
Yes.
because for some reason update installed and one of my drive clients was gone. had to redeploy it. And that's not the first time. And there were many occasions in which some of the updates deleted other applications, not necessarily just the simple ones. I don't know what's happening. This machine that I have at home is not a part of any domain. There is no GPO. There's no, additional outside interference in terms of something else. Somebody else is managing it, and the weird things just keep on creeping up.
I
But
think that the way to go with Windows nowadays would be to install a small, and I mean small, I mean basically a Docker with Samba Active Directory controller in it, and bind your machine to this Active Directory. Just because this would enable you to create a GPO that would say to your Windows, please do not update anything.
please don't update ever.
Yes, we are an enterprise installation. Don't do anything.
Yeah, it pushed me so far over the edge. I was raging on in the messages in our chat for like 45 minutes how many things went wrong. And then when the first part of that story was the auto login. This absolutely unacceptable to be
The auto login,
automatically.
the auto login problem may seem like a small problem for people, but because I was talking to people, but the thing is that people usually don't understand that both you and me and everybody that we are involved with, uh, we have a computer for a reason, and some of the things that we are doing require us to keep some of our clients separate.
Yep,
And nobody wants their computer to be wide open once it reboots.
yep.
And this is something that is hard to fathom in Microsoft for some reason or the other.
I don't know. I mean, stuff like WinSCP was deinstalled for my computer. I mean, it wasn't just one application; there were multiple. And yeah, I got really mad. My retro PC is here. I brought it here. It was in the other office in our studio. I
Yes.
brought it here, and I still have like a crazy intention of doing exactly what I said I'm going to do. But before that, I did some furniture remodeling. I removed some stuff from my flat. I'm going to move some stuff around, whatnot, do some things. And after that, I swear to you, I'm going to have a computer that runs on Windows, let's say 98 SC, right next to me, because that's the only way in which some of the things that I need to do are going to get done. Let me give you one very stupid example, which has become an everyday example for me. Installation of Microsoft Office.
Okay.
Okay, I have it deployed on my Windows 10 here and on my Windows 11 in the office where we are in our university. Every single day, I have 5 to 6 occasions in which I want to smash both my keyboard and my mouse and my monitors because Office starts doing something that cannot be traced back to anything. Just as an example, I open a completely empty Excel sheet. Excel freezes for 45 seconds, and then all of a sudden it resurrects. In Word, uh, stuff that's been happening lately. Let's say it saves a doc file as docx and vice versa in terms of the format, not the file extension. Happened to me a couple of times already. Crashed more than a few times. I know about the recovery files, blah blah blah. Luckily, this time I was able to somehow repair that. I mostly use those two applications. I stopped using Outlook a couple of years ago because it was absolutely insane to even try. I have, let's say, 4 or 5 email accounts that I have to read from my Outlook client. If I connect those free Office 365 accounts and 2 Gmails, when I start Outlook, I can go on vacation and come back before that application opens. And I'm not kidding. So Word and Excel have been basically my two applications that I've been using, and that's that from the Office stack. And especially because of the fact that recently I did more than a few journal paper reviews. I read through some of the thesis for undergrad and grad students, which are now going to defend their works. And also, I was writing some papers for our next round in not September, for October, for the next academic year. and it constantly does something. Something always happens, and I didn't have that in most of the older versions.
But the thing is that let's go back to Windows 95.
Okay,
Let's go
and
back
Office
to what.
95 and works.
Yes, because the Windows 95 was actually one of those pivotal moments when it comes to IT.
It
It
Yes.
isn't. It isn't. The Windows 95 wasn't the best operating system ever.
Nope.
It wasn't the most revolutionary system ever.
Nope.
It wasn't the most thought out system ever because it basically was created based on ideas that came from different systems. Before it, we already talked about this in the different episodes, so I'm not going to go into details about architecture and everything else. But the thing is that Windows 95, and I'm just looking at the Wikipedia because I'm lazy. Windows 95 was one of those events when IT became mainstream.
Yep.
And the thing is that people who were not around back then don't understand how deep of an impact and how deep of a um, uh, outreach was when Microsoft was marketing Windows 95.
If you
Because
combined all of the Samsung whatever events and all of the Apple whatever events, combine them, put them together, you still couldn't come to 1/10 of what happened with Windows 95 launch.
yes, but the thing was that people tried to do it, tried to go over the top after Windows 95 was launched. People tried to do different things to do the promotion and everything else. But the thing is that Microsoft, it says that on Wikipedia, it says the marketing campaign was estimated $1 billion
In 1995 money.
in 1995 money. Okay. They bought the rights to Rolling Stones single "Start Me Up," and Microsoft says that it was paid for by Microsoft. It cost $3 million just for this.
Jay Leno
They,
was there.
they used Jay Leno. They used Jennifer Aniston and Matthew Perry from the Friends
Hmm.
to create a half an hour video. But they bought the Empire State Building to get the colors on it. They bought the some of the biggest newspapers, the Times, PC World,
Basically everything.
basically everything. They also had, if you remember, and this is something that I had to go back in time. Do you remember that the Buddy Holly video was on the in the release? Weezer's Buddy Holly.
Yes, yes, I remember the song.
Yes, because it was the fun stuff item on the CD.
Yes.
They also had a game. They also had a trailer for a film,
Hmm.
which was unheard of
Hmm.
on an operating system. And they actually managed to get the sales projected as high as 720 million on release day. So
Hmm.
basically, they actually managed to do a turnaround, or basically, they got their money back in a couple of days,
Yep.
which is immense. It is hard to explain to people nowadays because the way that we interacted with IT was
Hmm.
quite different back then.
Yep.
Nobody was thinking about their own computer like something mainstream. Computer was something like um, when I try to explain to people who are younger, imagine having a mainstream release that is going to cost $1 billion for a washing machine,
Hmm.
because computers were treated like this back then. But washing machine may be even a wrong example, because you actually need a washing machine.
Hmm.
Back way then, you didn't actually need a computer at home.
Yep.
You didn't need the email. Email was nice thing to have, but you didn't need it. It was not something that everybody had to have. You just could have emails, or you might as well not have access to emails, because
And who
the internet.
cares? Yeah.
Yes, Internet Explorer was just okay. It was crappy when it was launched, but the thing was that it changed the way that people actually approach the way that they were looking at the interwebs, as they were called back when then. And also the thing is that it changed from our perspective here in the Balkans, so from other perspectives outside of the United States, the thing that has changed the most is that we didn't see the change from AOL to what Windows did,
Hmm.
because it started the big change when that later included Internet Explorer channels, Microsoft trying to create their own version of the internet,
Hmm.
because what Microsoft did and what they did the best is they decided that internet itself is not no longer
Good enough.
interesting. Yes, so they need to create MSN.
Hmm.
You remember when they bought the right to MSNBC?
Hmm.
For some reason or the other, which nobody explained, and to this day, I don't understand what the idea was behind it. But
Hmm.
there we were, and Windows 95 changed a lot of things. So now let me hear your take on it.
For me, it wasn't Windows 95, it was OSR 2. Looking a little bit more selfishly from my own perspective. In another world, in another episode, I said that Windows 95 in general were, the OS that I didn't mind reinstalling 3 times a week, sometimes four. Um, for me, I didn't necessarily use the Windows before that all that much, except in my dad's office, but that was different. Never had Windows 3.11 at home, on a computer, because back way then I had XT. Still didn't have anything more up to date. But the immense impact on 95, I remember that that year I signed into college. I remember when hundreds of students talking about it. Couple of months after the launch, still in September. But we were all like, when are we going to have Windows 95 computers in our labs so that we can test it, so that we can see it and whatnot? And everybody wanted to have it at home. But for me, that moment came a little bit later when OSR 2 was introduced, because before the Windows 95 OM service release, for those of you who don't know the acronym, when the OSR 2 came out, it had something that we never had before, or we didn't have it done properly. We had bits and pieces of trying to do it properly, mostly in DOS, not necessarily in Windows, but not properly, which was actual support for Eastern European languages and Croatian digraphs and whatnot. And this was something that was quite a big. It's not only for Croatia; it was for the whole Eastern Europe, and that meant that Microsoft can do a quick expansion into Eastern European market as well. The solitaires of the world and whatnot never interested me all that much. Cool games to have, but I never cared all that much. But for me, the Windows 95, and then we had those, plus packages and whatnot, and then Netscape Navigator, and then the modems, and the dial-ups and whatnot. That's the synergy of those things is what changed the overall, let's say, impression of computing for me.
But the thing is that when I take a look at back when I was installing the Windows, when I was trying to get them to run, and when I was first running them, the thing was that on Windows 3.11 or on the Windows 3 whatever, the parts were slowly coming online. So you had the a driver to be able to connect to the internet. You had the
Trumpet
driver to
Windsock,
be
yeah.
trumpet windsock. You had this that Microsoft what Microsoft did to try to come up with the modem driver, and you had a terminal they were using which basically didn't work. It was just a placeholder
Hyperterminal,
for. Yes, but I didn't think it was called hyperterminal back then.
I think it was.
Okay, but anyways, uh the things that we needed to actually create something that could be considered way back then a modern, I wouldn't quite call it a PC, a modern workstation.
Hmm.
So a place where you could actually do some work, not just spend time waiting for something. uh, the pieces were coming together with Windows 3, 3 whatever. And then Windows 95 actually created a whole that actually made sense. And the most interesting thing is that when they came out, it took them almost a year and a half before they actually introduced everything that they wanted to introduce. For example, when I was talking to people, everybody says that the infamous USB plug and play demo is part of the Windows 95, which it wasn't, because
Okay.
USB was introduced later when OS release 2 came out. And I need to check on this. Let me just give me a quick second.
It was
Uh,
USB was available in the earlier version, the first version, but it was quite clunky. In OSR2, it started actually working. And
officially, OEM service release 2.1
mhm,
was when the USB was out. It was in 97.
plug and play for me was already something that I was heavily testing with the original Windows 95 version.
Yes, but it's almost unanimously failed to work.
Yes.
And then suddenly it started working. USB was a nice thing to have, but I'm looking at the things that only came out later. And FAT32,
Yes.
infrared support, UDMA, IRQ steering, USB, Firewire, AGP, MMX, everything was just added later in the service releases.
Hmm.
And I have seen later, or nowadays, I have seen entire operating systems having a major version bump for
With less
just
features.
with less features than what happened in Windows 95.
Hmm.
So this was when Microsoft was trying to find itself, and although clunky and although not working correctly, although having its own set of problems, Windows 95 did two things right. It was the first one to actually introduce IT to the general market, and the second, it had a quick release cycle.
Yes, in those years, that was super quick.
Yes, it was super quick, and even more impressive is that Windows 95 actually came on floppies.
Yep, I
So
remember that.
if you include the time to market that is required to actually get the operating system running, and then create zillions of floppies needed to distribute it,
Hmm.
it's something that people don't understand.
Yeah, the
People
scale of that
nowadays
is indescribable.
People nowadays don't understand that back in the day, back in the 90s, when you were releasing a piece of software, you actually had to release it first on the right at the first time, because you couldn't go back and then just put a patch out on the first day. I was talking to my colleagues who are doing the game programming or game development, and we were talking about the patch zero. You
Hmm.
know the patch zero, so the release day patch.
Yeah, yeah.
It is something that should be outlawed.
Yep.
Basically, for those of you who don't yet know about this, when people are doing the games, or when they're doing any kind of official release, they are focusing on creating something that is not going to imminently fail as soon as it is being run, and then they are waiting for the release date to actually put out a patch that is going to fix all those things that need to be done. Not need to be done. So basically, they are trying to make a thing look nice, and then on day zero, they're trying to make it work nice.
Hmm.
And this is one of the problems that they didn't have back in the day, because you couldn't patch 27 floppies.
Yeah, across many millions of installations all over the world.
Yes, and the installations, unofficial installations that came from copying the floppies. Also, I was talking to a friend of mine, and he said that there was a non-negligible time when the users of Doom
Hmm.
were outnumbering the users of Windows 95,
Yeah,
which is a thought that I had to get out of my head for this episode.
IDDQD.
Yes, he said DQD. But the thing is that Windows 95 changed a lot of things. And I think that it hasn't been a long way downwards for Microsoft after Windows 95. But when comparing Windows 10 and Windows 11, I think that they are still trying to find out and realize what the architecture is going to look like, which I would think that they could have
Figured out by now.
sorted out by now.
You
Because Windows,
remember? Mhm.
yes,
Yeah, go ahead.
No. What do I remember? Probably not. I'm old.
Yes, you will. There was another reason why Windows 95 had to be very good out from the box. It was called OS2.
Yes, and way back in the day when Windows was not an automatic win on the market as soon as it came out.
For everybody, at least.
Yes, the thing was that OS2 was much more mature when it comes to drivers, and it worked in the business environments.
Yep.
And I think that the main reason why Windows 95 actually succeeded is because OS2 wasn't trying to keep up with Windows 95 because they believed that what they had was good enough. And if we still had if we still had the operating system that would behave the same as OS2 did and
Hmm.
had the huge backing of somebody like IBM,
Hmm.
I think that we would right now be in a completely different place.
In a different future to that past.
Yes, because the Windows 11, what they're doing right now, wouldn't be possible if we had a competitor that actually made sense. Because let's face it, Windows is losing the server game, and Linux is still not going to be a desktop operating
Perfect.
system.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, but it is good enough. It is nice enough. Everything is nice enough, but Windows 11 is still going to prevail.
Okay. In that market, I agree. That's why I want to have Linux on my laptop, but I'm not going to use it as a primary thing because it doesn't suit me business wise in that
But the problem
specific
is,
respect.
I was thinking about this thing. Do you remember a couple of weeks ago, or probably before the summer, when we got the warning that from my chief of IT in our company that reinstalling your computer is not allowed.
Okay.
Imagine now saying, "Okay, I'm going to switch over to Linux
Yeah,
in
that
a
would be
corporate
fun.
environment."
Yeah, that would be fun.
Uh, I think that I know what I'm going to be doing on Monday. Anyways,
Installing Linux on a second disk. Yes, in the office.
no, on second disk, on
Yeah,
a
yeah,
disk.
yeah, on the disk. Yeah,
But
I have your back. I'm getting you some more memory so that you can play.
no, I don't need the memory. I just need to. I
Yes, you
just need.
do.
I need
Yes, you do.
somebody. I need somebody who is going to keep me from getting attacked by the IT guys who are going to, uh, and they're not going to notice it
Yes,
because one of the
just like
reasons.
we are getting 128 gigs for my computer and for the computer of my colleague because we do a lot of VMs, and then you're going to get our memory. And today, the head of IT walked into our office because we asked him to get us the memory, and he wanted to type down the serial numbers of our computers because HP. So he wants to backtrack, use the serial number to get the correct memory that's compatible to our desktops, which is perfectly reasonable. But then he realized that our colleague is still not using that computer, and that new computer is standing on the Windows cell, not being used, completely opened, exposed, and waiting for the memory. And he was not happy with that. That's the reason why I didn't see it on the network. This is not the main joint. Well, yeah, always fun.
Yes, domain join on Linux. Okay, anyways,
Works
let's go back to trying to finish this episode that was loosely based on Windows 95.
loosely based. Yes, that's it.
Yes, it was
LB
inspired
ninety
by
five,
no inspired by Windows 95.
inspired by.
But I think that the thing is that I remember most fondly about Windows 95 was the whole marketing waha. The thing is that operating system itself wasn't something to write home about. Windows 98 was an interesting one,
Mhm.
but 95 was just starting things. And I remember that when it came out, I actually stayed on Windows 3.11 for the entirety of this year. And then only when the OM Service Pack 2 came
Mhm.
out, or Service Release 2, came out, I installed Windows 95 because I was waiting for the usual Microsoft bugs to be flushed out, and there was quite a few of those. Because you remember how many times it blue screened.
Yes, and I had SCSI computer, so go figure how many times I had to reinstall it.
But
I'm just going to say one thing. Windows 95 was so important that even Linux guys made the window manager that completely resembles Windows 95. FVWM95, if you remember, or FVWM2 as well.
or Windows,
Windows, yeah.
yes,
And what?
Windows.
Yeah.
But the thing was that I don't know where we went wrong because Linux was not that bad. It was much more stable. The only thing that was missing was support from one big company.
Mhm.
And
That was already starting back then, but yes.
yeah, but by support I mean somebody who would actually invest money into trying to create a whole set of business-oriented applications.
Okay.
Because what Microsoft did was they actually, as you said before, they introduced Office 95,
Mhm.
and they introduced the whole package that actually made sense from the business perspective and from the
Mhm.
user perspective. You had the browser, you had an Office, you had the Microsoft Encarta.
Mhm.
So they actually introduced a lot of things that people take for granted now, right now.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
if somebody else actually came out with the whole package, I think that the nowadays the landscape, the IT landscape, would look much different than it
Are you
is.
applying for a corporate job?
I'm too old for corporate jobs.
Yeah. And
Anyways,
corporations are too old for you as well.
yes. Anyways, let's finish this thing up. It's nice to be able to talk to you once again.
Yeah.
The summer was long.
It was, and we need to go back to the studio finally.
Yes, we need to go back to the studio, but until then, I'm going to say bye to everybody, and let's see you next week when we are going to be tackling another hugely important topic from the IT world.
Yes, whatever it may be.
I have a sneaky suspicion that one of these days we are going to be revisiting the AI train
Yes.
because things are happening.
Yeah.
TM.
Okay.
Anyways, see you and thank you for being with us.
Yeah. Bye.